listening to Between Two Bridges, a business-to-business podcast. With your hosts, Anthony R. Destiny, Joe Ferrani, and Jerry Kenna. Interviewing entrepreneurs, business operators, and investors. This episode of Between Two Bridges is sponsored by Paymont Payroll. Payday is the most important day to your most important people, and payday is made easy at www.payyourpeople.com.
Episode 46.
46. And I think we have 46 cameras in this room now.
Yeah, we're up a camera. We're making some changes here.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's just two of us tonight. Anthony got tied up at work.
Yeah.
So he couldn't make it this evening.
It's part of that, like, working for yourself thing. Sometimes, like, it eats at your gut, but you know you need to be there.
You got to do it.
And why not practice what we preach on this show? So
yeah. Sometimes we have to roll with the punches, and Anthony had to work, and the podcast doesn't pay the bills. Working does.
Yeah.
So he's doing that right now.
I'm starting to wonder. I mean, I'd have a lot more fun podcasting 7 nights a week.
Yeah, man. If this could pay the bills, could you imagine? We could just do this all the time.
Sweet.
Yeah.
I don't know, though. My bills are getting a lot more expensive. I'm afraid. I'm at the point now in my business where I'm afraid to even look at the phone. Because it seems like every time I look at it, there's a fire that needs to be put out.
Oh yeah.
So we'll hit on it. It's I'm not going to dwell on it. We had a vehicle accident today.
Yeah.
That
everybody's okay though.
Yeah, everybody's fine. That's always the first question you ask, even though you're like, "What the fuck did you do?" In your head as a business owner, you're like, you want to be like, "Are you fucking retarded?" But no, you ask, "Are you okay?"
I don't think we're supposed to use the R word anymore.
Oh, that's right. We talked about that.
Yeah.
I'm working on it.
We're working on it.
It's been a long life.
It's all right. They're bringing it back.
Yeah, I just would, I mean, I guess the parents are the ones who get offended. It's not the kids.
Yeah, I mean, it's not like you were actually talking about anybody with any sort of handicap.
Yeah.
I mean, it's
a blanket statement.
Yeah,
I guess.
this guy's just dumb.
Yeah, and he's not that dumb. He's just young. I think
he just did something dumb.
Yeah, and I think that's what happens when you get older and you own your own business. You got to stop for a second and realize that when you hire someone, you know, they might be 22, 23. We talked about it before on this specific show that we've talked about, like, guys, well, we were capable at that age.
Yeah.
You know, so like, I guess when I was 23 working for a local guy and I wrecked a vehicle, he was probably like, "Are you drinking?"
Yeah.
So like,
and you probably were.
Yeah. And I was like, "No, but I got rid of all the empties. We're good." So, but yeah, I mean, it wasn't like a huge ordeal. I mean, the state police did come because of where it was, and they gave him a piece of paper with an accident report number. They didn't find any negligence on anybody's part. No tickets were issued, which is always a relief.
Yeah.
You know, so I was fortunate to have the vehicle registered. One of my problems is, like, when you get a lot of vehicles, that goes through your head too. You're like, is it inspected? Is it insured? I
got a funny story for that. Yeah. So I went, as you know, last week I went out of town.
Yeah.
I bought a Corvette back in February. When you buy a Corvette, you can go do the Ron Fellows Performance Driving School. It's out in Nevada. It's freaking awesome. If anybody buys a new Corvette and you're debating on whether to do it, do it.
It's not included.
It's not, but GM subsidizes it. So anybody can take the class. If you don't have a new Corvette, it's like $3,600 or $3,700. But if you buy a new Corvette, GM subsidizes it down to $1,000.
Oh, nice.
So it's
a no-brainer.
The best $1,000 you can spend.
Yeah, I mean, that's cool.
The stuff that you learn, it's incredible. But so I was leaving for Nevada Tuesday. I think my flight left at like 4:20 or something, right? So I thought, well, I'm going to go into work. I need to get some stuff done before I can leave, right? So I'm here trying to get all kinds of stuff done. And, you know, as a business owner, the most stressful time of your life is the week before you leave for a couple of days, right? So I'm in like full blown panic mode. And at about 11:30, I remember that I renewed my driver's license online back in July.
For your birthday.
But never went and got the camera card. Never went and got my picture taken. So I don't have a valid driver's license with a like actual driver's license. Now, I've got to go through TSA. I've got to get a rental car. And I've got to go on a racetrack and drive somebody else's car.
Which is probably the easiest part of that.
I didn't know.
Yeah, now you're up.
But I'm like, I don't know if I can get any of those things to work if I don't have a valid driver's license. And I don't know if they're going to take this little piece of paper that I stuck in my wallet that says it's renewed. It's like, here, it's a piece of paper. So I'm like, I have to go to the DMV right now.
Right.
So I leave my office. I fly up the hill. Go to Penn Hills thinking that's the bigger one. So I more likely to be able to get in and out of that one. So I go in. The guy in front of me goes up to the counter where you got like the guy there that like kind of directs you. And he's like, I need my picture taken. And the guy's like, oh yeah, you just go right over there. You'll be in and out. And I'm like, oh, that's great. That'll be me too. So I go over and I'm like, yeah, I'm here to get my picture taken. And he's like, okay, do you have your camera card? And I'm like, I have this. And he's like, no, your camera card. And I'm like, I don't know, man. I have this printout from the internet. He's like, no, that's not your camera card. They mail you your camera card. I'm like, he's like, all right, you got to get in that line.
Yeah, different line. Yeah.
And they'll reprint your camera card. And then you get in that line and get your picture taken. And I'm like, there's a lot of people in that line. And he looks at me, he looks back at the line, then he looks at me and he goes, yeah, it's going to be a minute. And I'm like, I don't have a minute. And he's like, well, if you got to go, just let me know and I'll take your number back. And I'm like, okay. So I take my number and I'm 30 people back.
Oh, jeez.
So I'm standing there and looking at this form that he wants me to fill out, looking at all these people. And I'm like, this isn't going to work. I'm not going to make my flight. What am I going to do here? And I'm thinking, where could that camera card be that supposedly got my mail? I am terrible at my mail. Like my personal mail, my business mail comes here, personal mail. Because it's usually like your mail at your house. Bullshit. It's all fucking junk, right? So I don't ever pay attention to it. So I'm like, where could that be? Now I knew that I had a pile of mail that I brought to the office that was under my desk, sitting in a little pile. And I knew that there was mail at the house. So I'm like, this isn't going to work. So I walk back over. I leave the clipboard and my number. I take the form. I leave. I get on the phone. I call my wife. I'm like, I need you to go through all the mail that's at the house and look for anything from the Department of Transportation, DMV, PennDOT, whatever. I need a camera card. It came in the mail sometime between now and July. I need you to find it. She's like, okay. I'm like, it might not be there.
Our wives got to love us.
Go. She's like, okay. I hang up. I call my office. I tell the receptionist, I'm like, I need you to go under my desk. There's a pile of mail there. Go through there. Look for the paperwork from the DMV. Tell them the same thing. I said, I'm on my way back down the hill. I'll stop at the office and see if you have it. She's like, okay. So I'm flying back down through Penn Hills. I pull back into the parking lot. I walk up. She walks out to the front porch of the office. She's like, here it is. Slow down. And I'm like, awesome. So I have the camera card. So then I'm like, all right. Do I go back to Penn Hills or do I go to New Ken? New Ken's not going to have as many people. I'm going to New Ken. But what I did is I thought, I'm stopping at my house first. I'm going to grab my suitcases and stuff so I can go right to the airport from there. So I did. I left the office. I went to my house. I grabbed my stuff, said goodbye to my wife, gave her a kiss goodbye. I'm like, I'm out of here. Went to New Ken. Terrible mistake. Way longer wait. It was less people, but it was way slower.
Should have just put in like, I got this number from Penn Hills. I'm in a hurry.
So it still took like 45 minutes.
Jesus.
Got my picture, got my new license, got to the airport. I was like, they say like get to the airport with like 2 hours before your flight. I was standing in security like an hour and 10 minutes before my flight.
Yeah, flying by yourself is like a lot easier.
It was. And the security line was longer than I was comfortable with, but I got through it pretty quick.
Are you TSA pre-check?
Nah. You?
Yeah, we did it because of the kids. So
do you have to pre-check them too?
No, so like with you having 2 kids, you get a kid, your wife would get a kid. So
okay.
you both would have the TSA, and then
it was worth it.
Yeah, I mean, for the most part, it's been nice. Right now with security though, like TSA is pretty long too. They do that clear now.
Yeah.
It like extends everything in TSA. So I think it's all a scam. I think they just need to get better at their job.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, I got through it, and it turned out I didn't need my ID at the track at all. They didn't even ask for it, which is funny. I made a joke about it at the rental car place. They were like, "Yeah, that camera card would have been fine." I'm like, "Awesome." And the guy at TSA told me that they'll take. I think they said they'll take an expired driver's license for 6 months, not even like renewed. Just if it's expired, if it's within 6 months, we're good.
Yeah, my wife flew to Key West one year with an expired license. She had that yellow piece of paper.
Yeah.
And my fear is never leaving Pittsburgh. It's always like if you're where you are and you need to get back and that person wants to be a chooch.
Right.
That really could fuck you over.
Yeah.
Because like now your hotel accommodations and...
Right. That's the other thing is your hotel asks for your ID.
Yeah. Better to have
really
it.
spooked me was a few weeks ago, I was at Corvette's at Carlisle, and I went to a grocery store to buy a 12-pack of beer.
And they carded you.
They carded me, and then the guy was trying to give me a hard time, wouldn't let me buy beer because I didn't have like my ID, and then I had that piece of paper. But they're like, well, your ID's expired. I'm like, no, but I have this piece of paper saying it's not expired.
Yeah.
He's like, we don't take that. I'm like, but so he had to call a manager over. I'm like, bro, I'm 40.
Yeah, what a money grab. Your license expires. They could void your license at any time. Like if you lose your license, they'll just void it.
Right.
It has a scanner on the back.
My date of birth's still on it.
Yeah, and why do we need to renew it every 4 years? What's the benefit of that?
To pay another $38.50 or whatever.
It's just a money grab.
Yeah, whatever it is now.
So I liked it during COVID. It was the last time mine expired, and during COVID they were like, you just don't worry about it. So they're good. They like gave a window.
I feel like mine expired then.
It would have probably the same time. I think what they did was you paid the money online. They just
sent you a new one with the same picture. Yeah.
Which
I was like, I don't like that picture, and I got to deal with it another 4 years.
Mine could be just like the nameless gray face. I'd be fine with it. I just think it's a money grab.
It is. So, it is 100%.
Yeah.
But
believe me, if it's not expired and it's invalid and you get pulled over, that cop's going to know that it's invalid.
Right.
So
yeah, but you're right. When you have multiple vehicles, company vehicles, it's hard to keep track of inspections and registrations. And now PA doesn't have inspection or registration stickers on the plates.
Correct. So you don't get to see that.
So you don't even get to see that. So if you're not paying attention to what's on that owner's card, you wouldn't even know. I always find out my owner's card's expired when I go to get it inspected.
Right.
And they're like, yeah, this is expired.
Yeah, you're running around like shit. Now I got to do it online, print it out. But so I mean, we dodged a bullet. No one got hurt. Van is what it is. We have a backup van that I was not hoping to be the backup van so soon.
Yeah.
So, and that's the thing in a small business too, is like that changes my personal life now. You know what I mean? Like to that, the people that work for you, it's like a minor inconvenience for that moment. But for the business owner, it's
something you're going to have to deal with for the next few weeks.
Yeah. It's a headache. So, and like, right now, I mean, you guys can hear it in my voice. I don't want to talk on the phone. Like talking on the phone with a sinus infection is the worst. Because,
it's laborious.
Yeah, like I tried to get a guy to Cheswick to put our door in. And he was like, "Where's Chadwick, PA?" And I'm like, "Dude, Cheswick?" Like, I was getting so frustrated with myself. I was like, I don't even know how to talk anymore. I've worked it out that I don't know how to talk.
Yeah.
So probably not a great thing for a podcast host.
Nah, you'll be all right. We'll get through this.
Yeah. So what about the Corvette experience stuck out to you?
It was extremely well done. The way they structure the class, it doesn't matter if you have never driven a car in a performance setting or if you have had lots of experience. The instructors are not just hobbyists, like just guys that like to drive. They're actual like legit race car drivers. Yeah. The lead instructor for my class was Richie Hearn, who is a retired IndyCar driver.
Knows a little bit.
He knows a little things. Yeah, he was in the Indy 500 10 times. He placed third his rookie year.
Oh wow!
So he's the real deal. But the way they spoon feed you, and you don't even realize it when you're in the class because it's 2 days and it's intense. I mean, it's learning
classroom stuff.
Some of it's classroom, and then obviously you're in the car, and they have a fleet of Corvettes there that use their car. But they spoon feed you the information, whether it's in the class or they take you out and then you do like this like obstacle course part or like a braking session or they spoon feed you little pieces and they take you onto the track and you do like warm-up lap speeds and then you speed up a little bit. And the way they would do it is there were 18 guys in a class and they broke it into 3 sections of 6. And then when you went out onto the track, they broke you again into 2 groups of 3. And you'd have a lead car, which was an instructor, and then 3 student drivers. And you would go out, and the car directly behind the instructor would be getting coached by the instructor via radio. So it was funny because you'd be back there driving as hard as you could, white knuckling it, pouring every ounce of energy and mental capacity you had into not crashing that car and driving it as hard as you could. Meanwhile, the instructor's in front of you, driving at your pace by watching you in the mirror, one-handed because he's got a radio in his hand, like coaching you, like, yeah, you did real good on that turn. Yeah, get a little closer on that turn. Yeah, you want to pick up the pace a little bit on that. Like they're coaching you. And while you're driving as hard as you can, and they're just like one-handed coaching you driving in the mirror. But the way they kind of spoon-fed you the information as you went through the course, it was like everything, it was like layered. And then you started to you got it. You started to understand it, and you started to get better and develop the skill. Then the end of the first day, after you kind of got a taste of the track and how this all works, they were like, okay, now we're doing ride-alongs where the instructor is going to drive the car you've been driving with you in the passenger seat.
Yeah, they're ridiculous. And
you get to see what he does and how he does it. So you've been on the track, and at that point, my fastest time was like 1:40. So, and the funny thing is like the whole time I'm driving on the track, like I get motion sick. Okay. Now, when I'm driving, I'm usually good.
Yeah.
That's why I'm a driver. I do not passenger. Okay. But the whole time I'm on the track, I'm like right on the edge of making myself sick. And I knew this ride along was going to make me sick, but I needed to see it. I needed to see what this dude did. So I'm like, fuck it. I'm doing it. And if I have to we pull back in and I open a door and throw up on the sidewalk, it is what it is. Yeah. I'm doing this.
No shame.
So, at that point I was like 1:40 was my best lap time. I get in the car with him. We do a warm-up lap, and he's talking to me, and he's like, yeah, so you want to be paying attention to this, paying attention to that. He's like, all right, you ready? We're going to pick up the pace now. I'm like, all right. He puts the hammer down. We did a lap in 1:19. But after getting that taste and then watching him and being like, okay, so he's in the throttle all the way to that point. Okay, he's that hard on the brakes. Okay, he shifted there. He's in 4th gear there. He's there on the track at this point. Like, you start to see, okay, that's how you're supposed to do this. So the next day, the first time back on a track, I shaved 10 seconds off my time. First time
just
out.
Like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's crazy.
So it was just about layering that information so that you could understand it, so that even somebody that came in that had never had any track time before in their life, by the time the class was over after 2 days, they were like, okay, yeah, I'm comfortable. This is cool. They may not be the fastest person in a class, but nobody crashed. Everybody got a lot out of the class, and everybody had a good time. It was really cool.
It's hard to drive on the streets after those things.
It is, but the coolest part of it is that it's because it's a Corvette school. It gives you a whole new appreciation for the car you have sitting in your garage at home.
Yeah.
So you get home and obviously you buy that car and you're like, this car's freaking awesome. Like, you love it. It's fast. Maybe you got on it in the highway, or you got did a little spirited driving on a windy road or whatever. But after taking that class, you have a whole new appreciation of its capabilities. and you're like, this fucking thing's no joke.
It's like a real deal.
This is real. Like, this car can do what I just did. Like, that shit's crazy. So it made it a lot more fun.
Right. You've seen some of these, like recently, like some of these athletes have gotten these supercars.
Yeah.
And gotten themselves in some serious trouble.
Yeah. Anybody that has a car like that should take a class like that.
Yeah.
Because it teaches you to respect it.
Yeah. Because it's different. Like, it's, a Mustang GT is fast. The Corvette's built to handle and go fast. And we did one. I was in New Orleans, and we did, like, they had 3 different cars to choose from. There was a Ferrari, Lamborghini, and then they had a Porsche. And actually, the track was the home of the Porsche racing team. Mm-hmm. So, like, when we were doing our pre-class and everything, those guys were out, like, practicing. And, like, the one dude would, like, slid to miss a seagull, like, and then brought the car back around.
Crazy.
And I'm like, he did that like he was on a 5-speed bicycle.
Yeah, like nothing.
Yeah.
So that's the other thing, that once you take one of these classes, you hear people that kind of shit on race car drivers, like, they're not real athletes. They're just driving a car around. What's the difference? If you do one of these, like, it was 2 days, it was grueling.
Yeah.
We would go out on the track for, like, it was 10 laps. It was a 1.5 mile track. So you're talking 15 miles. By the time you got back, you were like, I'm fucking done.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, that was what we were, it was 3 laps, and it wasn't set up as much to, like, train, but it was fun. It was an experience, and they had numbers in all the corners. So the instructor would yell at you on the radio what number to aim the fucking car at and hit the gas. And so I did it, and then it was 3 laps, and then I went back out for another 3, and at the end there was some time left over, and they were like, does anybody want to go again? And I'm like, yeah, I want to go again, because, like, now, like you said, the more you go around, so, like, then I hit the peak speed in the straightaway. I, like, won the day, but I was like, I'm not letting off the gas until the very end, because this car, like, they're designed that when you let off the gas after going really fast, that you really don't even need to hit the brake. I mean, you do, but the car's designed to back it off a little bit.
And the brakes are no joke.
Yeah.
Like, that car's going to stop.
And it'll pull right.
Yeah.
Like, you can send it into a turn by slamming into the brakes.
Yeah. But anybody that doesn't think that those guys are athletes, I was in a Corvette with air conditioning, automatic climate control, air conditioned seats, doing 15 miles at a time.
Top speed?
It wasn't, the straightaways weren't that long. My top speed was about 105.
Yeah.
So it wasn't like crazy top speed, but it was still 105,
Yeah. NASCAR drivers are going round and round in a circle
at 200 and no air conditioning. Sometimes those track temperatures are 115, 120 degrees, and they're doing it for 500 miles with no brake.
Right.
I mean, like, that's an athlete, dude.
Yeah.
So
what a fun experience.
Yeah, it was a good time. Speaking of athletes, do you think Russell Wilson's ever going to start for the Steelers, or?
I think he's just a figurehead at this point, right?
I think they'd be crazy to pull Justin Fields.
You go back to week 1, the dude dressed and was unable to play. Period. Like, you're not allowed to dress.
Yeah, I don't know why they let him do that.
The dude's, like, on picture day, like, senior high, like, he's getting his picture.
He was on a radio show and he dressed. He wore. Did you know that? It was like during the summer, like before the season started. He was in a radio doing an interview and showed up in full pads. Like, that's the Russell Wilson thing to do. He loves just being in full pads.
Dude, if you just showed up in here like with a race car helmet on today, just be like, I'm going Russell Wilson from here. I should have. That's funny.
Like the Stig.
Yeah, I think that Russell Wilson's obviously an older guy, and if he's hurt, he's hurt. I get that, but, like, we're winning football games the same way we've been winning them for the last 4 years since Ben retired. It's just defense.
Ugly, but we're winning them. But here's my thought with it: if Justin Fields is winning football games, you can't pull him.
Well, Russell Wilson's the same quarterback. He's just older.
Yeah, but no turnovers.
Right. And Russell Wilson doesn't throw the ball down the middle of the field just like Justin
Fields.
Yeah,
he's playing well. He's not turning over the ball.
And he's
winning football games. He's running the ball.
Right.
You can't pull him. If he starts losing, pull him. But at this point, Russell Wilson's sitting as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, and I think that if you could figure out Justin Fields on a throwing aspect, he's 25 years old. He could be your future quarterback.
Yeah.
Not that I think that he's going to be like Patrick Mahomes but like
no.
The Chiefs have it all right now, I mean? And the refs in their pocket.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Travis Kelce's kind of shit in the bed this year so far, though.
Is he on your fantasy team?
Yeah.
So I think it's funny that, like, we lived it younger when the Patriots were dominant. We're like, yeah, the refs give them every goddamn call.
That was pass interference, though, bud.
Yeah, I mean, that
was pass interference.
But, like, it's always going to be that way when teams are winning, and, like, especially if they go on to win 3.
Yeah,
everything's fixed, and they'll be deflating footballs, and it'll be like some storyline about how Travis Kelce knew the plays. I just watched the documentary the other day about sign stealing for Michigan.
Yeah,
did you know anything about that?
Yeah.
They kind of swept that under the rug pretty good.
Yeah, it was there, but then he that was Harbaugh, right?
Yeah, Harbaugh and
then
he Stallings took the fall, the one kid.
Yeah, and then he got in trouble. Harbaugh kind of got in trouble, and then he left and just got a job in the NFL.
Everybody left.
Yeah.
Like any of their borderline draftees were like, we're out. Like this shit's going to hit the fan someday. Yeah. And like in the documentary, they had the kid that was stealing the signs, and apparently he was buying like tickets for everybody to go to every Big Ten game and film the other sideline and shit. Like,
really?
Yeah, there was there was a guy that was a booster that was involved, and he was on the board at Michigan. They kicked him off the board.
Really?
Yeah, it was a lot of, and it
Where's
was
that documentary?
It's on Netflix. Yeah, and it's funny because I think what it was is they just got like to the point they were sick of losing.
Yeah,
and then when this kid. He started doing it's not illegal in the NCAA. You're allowed to steal signs, and it's been like a game that's been played forever. They'll have 8 people on the sideline giving signs for the play, but only one of them matter.
Oh yeah,
yeah. But then this year they implemented the rule that they have headsets now, so the quarterbacks used to not have headsets in the college game.
Yeah,
they eliminated all that. But Michigan was good, and they feel like someone from Ohio State initiated this investigation, which
probably
and it's just fun. It's all part of it. You know, you got these chat rooms with fans that feel like they can help their team by like releasing this information.
Yeah,
so it's kind of cool. I mean, I was kind of laid up and didn't want to watch anything too serious.
Yeah,
and I've never been a big Michigan guy anyway, but
yeah,
I like it when they beat Penn State.
Yeah, how about Narduzzi getting fined? Did you hear about that?
Yeah, He probably didn't have to say that, but you know what? Fuck it. You're riding a high, and what's $5,000 to him?
Yeah.
You know.
Well, they say he makes like $6.2 million a year or something.
Yeah, what a win for them. I mean, what comeback?
They've already won more games this year than they did, or just as many games this year as they did all last year.
Yeah, and their quarterback, the redshirt freshman, looks like a stud.
Oh yeah, he's a baller, dude.
So 300-yard games. He'll probably throw for 119 against Youngstown. And
he
lose.
came from Alabama. I mean, he's
sitting behind greatness down there.
Yeah.
So he's a redshirt freshman.
Yeah.
Or he redshirted last year. So he's.
No, I think he's redshirt freshman this year.
So what do you do in Alabama? You just.
I don't know.
Didn't play?
No, I guess not.
Yeah.
I guess that's why he did transfer. I mean, SEC. I mean, there's some serious talent down there.
You're not kidding.
You know, but you come up to the ACC. Play for a team like Pitt, you're going to be a baller up here, man.
And then he'll be back in the SEC getting paid.
Maybe.
So that was that head of like deal. Like,
yeah,
that's name, image, and likeness got her, lost her job because
she had no plan.
Yeah. And I don't know who they're going to bring in.
Yeah, I don't know.
But like, who would have thought you need to be like a GM when you're the AD at a college program? You're going to have to bring in the money.
Yeah.
You know, and Pitt has alumni, but not like some of these other schools, you know,
not like an SEC school,
or like USC, you know. So that'll all level out.
Yeah, I guess there's some changes that are going to come in the next couple of years that are going to try to level it out, right? Some revenue sharing or something like that.
I think the big schools should just break off and start their own thing.
Yeah.
Like the big Bamas and that, they should just start like a pro league, pretty much.
Yeah,
just be like, hey, look, you guys play for your Division II title over there, and we'll have our top 12 teams, and so sooner or later the money runs out, right?
I mean, it's going to be the same kind of thing, though. I mean, you're still going to attract it's still college level kids. They're just going to attract that anyway. I mean, the SEC kind of has that anyway, right?
Yeah, and I think that like what I was saying about the money running out is you go to these boosters and you're like, hey, we need some money. We need this name, image, likeness money. Well, if they're not getting anything in return other than like our team almost won the national championship, sooner or later they're not going to be given money like that. Yeah. These people are intelligent that have that kind of money.
Yeah.
They probably think it's a short-lived thing, so let's throw a bunch of money at it and see if we can sneak into the national championship.
Yeah. I mean, the way they've been playing this year, the big change that I've seen in Pitt football this year is the heart. I mean, the last 2 games they've been down. I mean, they were down by 10 with not much time left against WVU, and they didn't give up. Last year's team, they'd have given up.
Dude, classic working for yourself. So Saturday, I'm still in the middle of doing so much at the plant. So like I was like 3:30, I should be able to get out of there by 3:30 and like just sit down and watch a football game. And I didn't, and not even close. And I'm like, well, it could have been that good of a game, right? And then I turn on the fan on the way home. It's like, this is the best edition of the Backyard Brawl ever. I'm like, and I saw 0 of it.
Yeah, I think this year's was really good. 2 years ago, the night game
that was in Pittsburgh
was really good.
Didn't
too.
Pitt blow them out of the water?
No, it was a grind. I mean, they went back and forth, and it came down to a big turnover, a big interception at the end of the game. It was a pick 6 for Pitt that year too.
So you didn't go to West Virginia for the game. You're not that big of a Pitt fan.
No, I didn't do that.
I know that there's some people, man, that just they live and die Pitt football. I mean, it's just it's a hard team to follow sometimes.
It is. I have season tickets. And I didn't really consider getting rid of them this year because I went to Pitt. My brother went to Pitt. It's something that we do together. We go to these games. So It's like, yeah, sometimes it's painful to watch, but we're going to go anyway because it's time for me and my brother to kind of chill.
Yeah.
But, I mean, there were a lot of people during the season last year around us in the seats around us that were all like, I'm getting rid of my tickets. I'm not doing this again. Fuck this team.
They all say that. They're all back.
I'm sure they are.
So we have Steelers seats, and my stepdad had just been selling them all because just it's tough to go to a game. It's not only is it just the time suck to go down there, it's the parking, the food. It's
even if you have tickets, it's still
a couple $200. Yeah. So he said to me recently, me and my brother, my stepbrother and my stepdad would go to like every Steeler game. We did it for years. I mean, there was like a 7-year window where we didn't miss a home game. And he said, you know what I'd like to do this year? He goes, like, home opener, we should all go. So my brother had something come up, and we have 5 seats, and I was like, I don't know, maybe we'll take the kids, I'm like, season home opener, the weather's still nice. So we're going to take Reese and Graham, my mom, my stepdad, and I are going to go to the home opener on Sunday. So hopefully it's just in and out, no problems. Because as a parent, you fear these situations. Like,
so they haven't been home yet?
No, 2 on the road. They're the road warriors right now.
I didn't realize that.
Yeah, so they'll be home this Sunday against the Chargers. So I didn't feel like their fan base is like, if it was a Ravens game, I wouldn't take my little kids.
I wouldn't take kids to that one.
But we're in the 100 level, so I'm hoping like an in and out kind of experience. So we'll see. To be determined, I guess.
Yeah. You think they have a good chance against Chargers?
Yeah, I feel like the defense plays the way they're playing. They're not giving up many points. And they're definitely not giving up a lot of splash play. And
our defense is playing great.
And we have a lot of youth in that back end to go along with a lot of experience. And the more that Trice and Porter play together and they're out there and Fitzpatrick can like kind of read the field and understand that these guys got it. Because for the last couple of years, I feel like he's been covering up to protect the deep ball.
Yeah. And
he's not been healthy. So now if he can ball hawk around a little bit.
Yeah.
And you got Watt if they would just stop holding Watt and Highsmith all the time, it's stop. Like unbelievable. At some point, it's like
they hold him every single play.
It is, and it is unbearable to watch. Like the first game, whenever he was offsides, but he was the fastest to the ball.
Yeah.
We went to school with a kid like that. I don't know if you remember Dimitri was always getting offside penalties. He'd just be standing there like. But yeah, sometimes being the best player on the field has its negative things, But as long as that guy stays healthy, Watt, that is. They're in it.
The Steelers' record when Watt isn't playing is
pretty bad.
Real bad.
So, because he's like, it's fun to watch. Like, I used to like to watch the offensive side of the ball more, but over the last 5 years, it's like.
That's hard to watch.
Yeah, it's painful.
Unless you really like field goals.
Field goals. Yeah, like there's going to be a lot of field goal kickers coming out of Western PA over the next 10 years. Because like, they're going to be like, that's the only dude that scores.
Yeah. No shit.
Yeah, would they kick 5 the first game, Boswell? 5? 6. They won 18
6.
It was
18, yeah.
Yeah, they're good for block pulls.
Yeah.
Really mix it up.
Yeah.
We'll see. I mean, I get to the point where like take it or leave it, with them. I'm not as ride and die as I used to be.
Yeah.
Which kind of sucks in a way,
Yeah.
But on Monday mornings, it feels good.
I never used to watch, never used to do it. I never used to do fantasy football. Last year I did a fantasy league. This year I'm in a fantasy league. Not really a hardcore one, just kind of a group of friends that half of us don't even know what the fuck we're doing. But, so we started watching more football, and I used to I'm not the kind of guy that watches a Steeler game and we lose and it ruins 3 days of my life.
Yeah.
I'm not.
No, I used to be like that.
Yeah. I can't do that. It's not that consuming of my life, but it is nice, as hard as we work and as much as our brains are always going on business, to have something, not to just shut our brain off, because alcohol can do that. But to have something to use your brain on that isn't work.
Right.
Because you can watch a football game and think of strategy. I was actually kind of excited when I watched the Philly game on Monday night. And at the end of the game, when Philly had the ball, 3rd and 3. Did you watch it Monday night?
Yeah,
game?
I watched. I fell asleep a little bit during that, but I did watch the end.
So 4th quarter, it was 1:35 left in the game. Philly had the ball. They were up by 3. It was 3rd and 3. They were on a 6-yard line. And they needed that first down. And I said to Amber, I'm like, this is interesting. And she's like, why? And I'm like, because if they get the first down, the game's over. But if they get the touchdown, they have to kick the ball off. And theoretically, Atlanta could get a touchdown, onside kick, and they could potentially win this game.
Right.
So they're better off not getting the touchdown. Just get the first down and take a knee.
Right.
And she's like, really? And I'm like, they're better off not
you'll see teams let teams score.
Right. And she's like, huh. And then they threw the freaking ball. And it was an incomplete pass. And I was like, that was the dumbest fucking play call, because now they stopped the clock. They would have been better off, even if they had run the ball and lost a yard. They could have taken 40 seconds off the clock, taken and done it again on 4th down. Even if they wouldn't have gotten the first down, had a turnover on down, they would have given the ball back with 30 seconds left in the game on the 6-yard line.
Yeah, I've always wondered about NFL coaches, they get in their own way a lot.
Yeah.
But analytics is such a big thing in sports. They should have a coach that's just the time coach.
Yeah.
And I've always thought that with Tomlin here in Pittsburgh.
Terrible.
He just blows timeouts when he doesn't need to.
Yep.
And then he takes them when he shouldn't.
Terrible clock management.
But you pay all these guys all this money, you should have a clock guy.
Yeah.
That's all his job. Analytics tell you that if you take 30 seconds off the clock, and that's why Belichick, I think, was so good in his run.
Yeah.
Because he would take delay of games on purpose and have his guys jump off sides.
Yeah. Yeah. I was like, there's strategy here. I mean, they'd have been better off going for it on 4th down. Even if they had a turnover on downs, give the ball back to them on that 6-yard line with 30 seconds left. They would have killed so much time. They would have had only 30 seconds to get back. Even that 3-point lead, they probably would have still won, but they lost the game.
On a bad decision.
And everybody blames it on Saquon Barkley for missing that pass. The problem wasn't missing that pass. The problem was calling that play.
Right. Well, I mean, you saw in the years past when Pete Carroll he had Marshawn Lynch as a running back and at the goal line, and they throw the ball and it's intercepted, and it cost them a Super Bowl.
Yeah.
And it's because I think that these coaches think, what's the dumbest thing that we could do here? Because they'll never expect it.
Right. That was the whole thing. They're expecting us to run, so we're going to pass. Still, it doesn't matter. You didn't even really need the first down. You needed to kill the clock.
Right.
And
I think sometimes that's the best advice you can get. When you're running a business, you don't need to do this exorbitantly crazy idea. You need to do what you're good at.
Right.
And keep doing it.
Just do what you need to get done. Yeah,
right.
Actually, absolutely. But my point was, I find myself watching football, and because I can use my brain and keep my brain active, so that I'm not just obsessing and anxiety ridden, worrying about work.
So, like you said about letting it ruin 3-4 days of your life. Before the internet was a crazy tool that you could instantly see everything, there was a way to get your hands on all 22 tapes. So they're an aerial view of the game where you see every player And I used to get some of those from time to time, and I would sit down and like literally break down the game.
Really?
And then like you start seeing it and you're like, oh, they're doing this just to fuck with me now. Like this is personal. like, cause you could see like this wide receiver. And like I've learned this just through life, like with pitchers, like you're like, why would he miss the strike zone that bad? And it's because the next pitch.
Yeah.
So like wide receiver, like Antonio Brown was great at this. Like he would run routes all game and sell it short for that one time when you needed it. Then he'd run it, and then it was game over.
Yeah.
Catch it on his head going out of bounds.
Yeah.
And now a brief word from our sponsor.
This episode of Between Two Bridges is sponsored by Paymark Payroll. Are you tired of spending countless hours juggling payroll calculations, tax filings, and compliance regulations? Well, say goodbye to that chore and let Paymark Payroll take the burden off your shoulders. With our secure online portal, you can access your business information from any internet location, even your phone. Employees will love the ability to receive direct deposits, and they can access all their pay stubs, tax forms, and information through their own portal. Focus on growing your business while we take care of the rest. With top-notch customer support, we're always here to assist you with anything, at any time. Don't let payroll stress hold you back. Choose Paymark Payroll and experience the freedom to thrive. Contact us at payyourpeople.com for a personalized consultation and a demonstration of our powerful payroll solutions, and see how Paymark Payroll can better your workflow. That's payyourpeople.com. Join the growing list of satisfied businesses that have embraced the convenience and efficiency of Paymark. Payday made easy. Your business deserves nothing less than the best, and that's exactly what Paymark Payroll delivers. Now back to the show.
So we have talked about crashing trucks, Corvettes, football. How's the new plant? And let's talk about some business. On this business podcast.
Yeah, the new plant is fantastic. I mean, there's still a lot of loose ends that need to be cleaned up, but I'm in a very manageable space. Like we're like 7 years of Sundays, I could get it all done, you know? Yeah. So like, but no, we're up and running. I don't know how much I talked about like the difference between having 208 power and 240 power has been astronomical. The equipment hums better. It sounds better. I think I'll get longer life out of the motors and whatnot.
That's great.
We're very small in staff by design. So the people that need to be happy are very happy. The girls are getting their back end kind of like the caught upness is like we have like it's getting there. We're real close. I mean, so that's exciting. Because now, like the goal was to be able to expand a little bit upon the delivery route. But when you're still pressing pants every day and pressing dry cleaning now and doing all this, there's no real time. But like tomorrow will be 2 days ahead on production.
That's great.
So that's like the first time in forever. And what'll be nice about that is like that takes the pressure off.
Yeah.
But I think that's one of the key things as a business owner is there's no one putting that pressure on you. So the last week, even though I haven't felt well and like we've been busy and like all this shit going on, every day I'm like, I need to get this done in order to get to the next step. So the next step's on the horizon. We've been running like one washer because we're still waiting on some things from Allegheny County. So once we get 2 washers going, it'll be even better. You know, like you're just trying to, but you get good at organizing your day, even though like you're not running at 100%. Give me like a couple of days of however it is, maybe it's 60%, and then you get organized in your brain, and it's been good. I mean, the transition's been great.
Yeah.
We've had an astronomical response from our customers as far as like reaching out, getting access to some homes that were worried about it. There's some homes on the north side that you can't hang their laundry on the door. You probably could. I mean, I've never had anybody steal anything in all these years, but I also have never delivered to a door on the Mexican War streets. So, but yeah, so we've gotten access to people's homes and like, it's been cool. I mean, it's really fun to like kind of live it now.
Yeah.
So really hope that like I can get rid of this sinus infection and next week start healthy.
Yeah.
So prying your eyes open on a Monday morning to go to work in your new facility is probably not how I had it pictured out to be, but I'm also thankful that it's not the chaos that was McKnight Road right now, because I'd be laying in the back and trying to get rested up to kill myself all day.
Yeah.
And we've been able to get out there like 2:30.
Yeah.
And the weather's not been cooperative.
Yeah.
It's almost October. It's 83 degrees.
Yeah. So are we at a point, not we, are you?
You're in this together, buddy.
Yeah. I'm here for you, buddy.
Yeah, thanks, man.
Are you almost at a point now where now you're ahead on production? So that means, I hear that means you've got bandwidth. You can grow.
Right.
You could take on more work.
It was wild. I had a local past politician, business person come to pick something up the other day at the store, and we were talking, and she was like, so I have to ask the question, what mode are you in right now? Are you staying or are you growing? And I was like, first time in like 5 years I can answer that and be like, we're in grow mode now. Like, we're going after the customers we want.
Yep.
The people that will understand how the delivery works.
Yep.
And I'm still servicing a lot of people that are like, well, can you come now?
Yeah.
And I'm like, that's just because I owe it to them as a business owner. They've gotten me to this point, but we'll weed that out.
Yeah. So then what's the plan now that you're able to get the plant to the point? Are you actually in the weeds doing the work?
Yeah, I'm still in the weeds right now. So I figured to come back off of losing that revenue for that 9 days, I figured it'd be better if I just if I learn the system,
mm-hmm.
and then I can kind of gauge the numbers of like what I should expect out of somebody, and then bring someone in full time, third person in the production end of it, and then that'll really free it up.
And then you can be out on the road building the route,
doing the things that need to be done. So kudos to my wife. She's really stepped up in the last 10 days. She's put out a lot of fires for me. Like you were saying about calling and looking for the mail. She's starting to understand that I don't want to call and be like, this fire needs put out, this needs put out, but I can't organize my day before it happens a lot of times. So she's starting to understand that, and she's been really good. So I might sneeze now, getting allergic at talking good about her. No, she stepped it up, and I appreciate it, especially with me being sick. One of the things and I know, just as guys in general, especially business owners, being sick's not in our cards.
No, you got to go anyway.
But she called and made me a doctor's appointment, which was huge because they gave me some nasal spray that kind of got me here tonight. Without it, I couldn't breathe out of my nose. Eating was hard because if you can't breathe out of your nose, you're suffocating while you're eating.
Yeah.
Nothing's enjoyable about that.
No, it's tough.
So.
Yeah. Yeah, I know what that life is, man. Back when COVID was happening, what was November of
2020.
So when did they shut everything down? March of 2020?
Yeah.
So November of 2020, I got COVID. It was Thanksgiving time.
Oh, yeah.
So I shut down my office. Made everybody stay home, but I went to work. I wasn't super productive, but I figured I don't want to be at home with my wife and kids. At that point, COVID was still kind of scary, and I had shit to do, but I also just didn't want to be around everybody.
Right. So
I shut down the office. I went into the work. I locked the door, had the lights off except for my office. And I went to work. I mean, the show doesn't stop.
Yeah, I don't think that people will say you need to stay home and relax. You need to rest. Well, I don't think I'm going to rest if I'm at home because now I'm uneasy. So I might as well just be at work.
Yeah, exactly. Because I'm not able to relax. I'm not able to just lay there and not think about it. I'm just going to lay there and stay awake and be think about all the things I should have been doing. So it's just not. It's not relaxing to me.
It's funny too because we have a smaller staff now, but of the people that are left, they all were like, "Hey, you should go home."
Yeah, and
I'm like, I appreciate the sentiment, and I really do, but me going home doesn't get anything accomplished. There's a lot going on right now.
Yeah,
so, but I think I'm through the worst of it.
Yeah,
that I think it's called Afran, the nasal spray.
Yeah.
They actually tell you you're not allowed to take it for more than 2 or 3 days in a row.
Yeah.
It'll fuck you up.
Yeah.
I think there's drugs in it, like cocaine.
Yeah. You just have to stay real hydrated with it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. That's what Icy Light's for, right?
Yeah, there's water in there. Where's it at on the ingredients? Do they have ingredients on here?
I don't think so.
No.
Just win, piss, and victory in here.
Made in Creighton, PA.
Yeah. I shot a funny little video that I sent to some guys whenever I saw that the first time. I said, can you say Creighton? So, well, that's a week wrap up. I mean, it's just, we're in the middle of it.
Yeah.
We talked about it last week. We try not to be too dark, too gloom.
Good.
I mean, earlier today, I'm thinking about all these positive things I'm going to talk about. And later today, I'm scrolling my phone, driving 80 down the turnpike looking for a new van.
You're not supposed to do that while you're driving, Joe.
Yeah, well, I figured what's the options? I couldn't be lucky enough to hit a deer in the new one, right? Total and both. I almost did run out of gas though.
Oh, you're not supposed to do that either.
No, I'm learning this like new van. Like, it doesn't ding to let you know it's low on fuel. It might ding at like 75 miles, but nothing under that. And then it goes from like 3 bars to 1 bar, like a cell phone that's not real good. And it's like 0 range. And I'm like,
uh-oh.
Well, I got 20 miles on the turnpike. So hopefully their 0 means 20.
I guess it was.
Yeah, I got to the Sheets right there in Harborville and filled up like a pit stop.
Yeah.
But I was like, wouldn't that be funny? Tripway's got one of my vans on the back, and I'm calling Tripway for their free $5 worth of gas to get off the turnpike. So they always ask you, are you in a safe place? I'd have been like, no, I'm in the middle lane of the PA turnpike. So,
that's funny, man.
And I was thinking about your new office because like you go past that on the turnpike, and I was like, in a couple weeks, I could just park it and jog up over the hill.
Yeah, that'd be all right.
So.
Yeah, that's coming along, man. We're just about done with paint, and next week it's going to be start time to move some stuff there. So
bring your van next week.
Yeah, bring the van, and maybe the truck and the trailer might be easier. And hopefully you're feeling better because I'm going to need some muscle, bud.
Yeah, I'm all good, dude. Yeah, this shit doesn't faze me.
We'll get some stuff moved up there and start getting some stuff set up, and yeah, I mean, it's exciting. I can't wait. I can't wait for the new space. It looks awesome. It's gonna be spectacular.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing it again. I mean, there's been a lot of work going on, just changing the paint in places, and like the lighting is just it's a game changer.
It is.
So
it is. It's brightened it up tremendously, and it's gonna be great. Podcast studio's coming along really well.
It'll be fun.
Yeah, it's gonna be cool. I can't wait to show everybody.
I'm glad to get out of these chairs because I can't help rocking and like moving, and we're down lapel mics. Tonight would have been a bad night for lapel mics because like I gotta and then bring it back in.
Yeah.
So
extra editing for Nate.
Yeah. So
yeah, it's gonna be good, man.
We still got our one Tom Plumber thing over there.
Yeah, we're still waiting for that check though.
Yeah, they're battling Allegheny County for me. I appreciate that.
Are they?
Yeah, they're doing some dangerous work, I guess.
Oh yeah.
Allegheny County is tough, man.
Yeah.
And I get it because there's a lot of scumbags out there.
There are.
But sometimes you should just give some people some leniencies.
Yeah.
They won't though.
No.
So, and what also I learned was it's not just Allegheny County I have to worry about because the county might approve something that the code enforcement guys might not think fits their standard.
Oh, really?
So they got to make everybody happy. So,
yeah.
It is what it is. Play their game.
But are you happy?
Oh, I'm so happy. So I took some pictures of the way I have my drains currently operating. And I'll make sure to submit those to the county also. Yeah. So, all right. Well, I guess that's where we jump off.
Yeah, we'll wrap it up here.
I missed our Destiny.
Yeah.
Fact-checking us,
keeping us straight. He probably would have told us to stop talking about Corvettes and football, but...
Oh, we would have had him on football.
Yeah, that's true. He likes
football guy.
Yeah.
But we'll get him next week. Got a guest next week. Kicking off the guest season.
Yeah.
So, talk about Real Men Wear Pink, something I like a lot. So,
yeah. Excited to get back into guests, and that's about it.
Yep. Well, you end it with thanks, guys.
All right. Take it easy.
Thank you for listening to Between Two Bridges, a business-to-business podcast. Find and follow us on your preferred podcast streaming platform. Like and subscribe, and leave us a rating and review. You can join us socially on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and Twitter. Yes, we still call it Twitter. You can email the show at info@betweentwobridgespodcast.com. Until next time, make it till you rake it.
Firm brakes at the 2, back down to 3rd, gentle brake release, put it right on the curb. Look for the next one, okay? Find that next corner, roll into that gas, nice and smooth. Nice job there, Jerry. Slowly back over to the left here, keep it coming, man. Firm brakes at the red cone, get it slow. Down to 3rd, gentle release of that brake, follow it all the way through here. Nice and smooth, keep it turning. Nice job, now unwind, get up to 4th. Left hand wheels here, firm brake, away from the light seat, reel it in, nice and smooth. Nice job, Jerry. Now follow me through. Left, nice and tight, almost straight line. Firm brake, lighter brake pressure, lighter, down to 3rd. Let it put you in the middle here. Pull it down, nice and smooth, roll to that throttle. Much better that time, Jerry. Now nice and the 4th gear here, in the lap strong, nice and smooth. Remember, firm brake. Nice firm brake, put it right on this curve. Stay on that brake, let it release. See my light? Squeeze, tap the brake, down to 3rd, let it rotate for you. Nice job there, Jerry. Keep it coming. Back over to the right. Firm brake here, nice and firm. Slowly release, we'll slow our pace here, Jerry. We're going to do a rotation.